The point of total assumption is the point above which the seller starts assuming the cost of the contracted work. Now, a key misconception to be clarified. PTA does not mean point of zero profit for the seller. At PTA, seller may be making profit or loss or no profit and no loss. At PTA, the buyer-seller ratio becomes 0:100. Technically, PTA is the point where the share ratio ceases to operate and the buyer will no longer share cost with the seller. At PTA, a fixed price incentive fee contract becomes a firm fixed price contract. PTA can be more than ceiling price. At or above PTA, buyer pays the ceiling price. At or above PTA, the contract price is fixed and is equal to the ceiling price. Now, the formula for calculating the point of total assumption PTA is equal to ceiling price minus target price divided by buyer's share ratio plus target cost. Let's try to understand how to calculate point of total assumption through an example. Now, if you refer to the given values, the target cost or the planned cost for a given work is $50,000. The target fee or the target profit is $10,000. Now, target profit or the target fee is paid if the target cost is equal to the actual cost. The target price is equal to $60,000. Now, target price will be equal to target cost plus the target fee. The ceiling price is $80,000. Ceiling price is the maximum price that the buyer would pay to the seller for a given work or a contract. The share ratio in case of any cost overruns or underruns is 60:40. Now, to calculate the point of total assumption based on the given data, we can simply use the standard formula. PTA is equal to ceiling price minus target price divided by buyer's share ratio plus the target cost. Now, substituting the value of target cost as $50,000, target fee as $10,000, target price as $60,000, ceiling price as $80,000, and using the share ratio of 60:40, we get PTA is equal to 80,000 minus 60,000 divided by 0.6 plus 50,000. Now, if we solve this expression, we get the value of point of total assumption as $83,333. Now, if you look at this value of $83,333 carefully, it is above the ceiling price, which indicates that at point of total assumption, the project is into losses. Now, let's modify the contract slightly by changing the ceiling price as 70,000, keeping rest of the parameters same. Now, if we change the ceiling price to 70,000, with the value of PTA, the point of total assumption, will be equal to $66,666, which is less than the ceiling price of 70,000. Now, this indicates that seller is making some profit even when the actual cost reaches point of total assumption. Often people are scared of this formula for calculating point of total assumption. They try to cram it. Now my simple advice to all of you, instead of cramming the formula, please try and understand how the formula is derived. Please pause the video and go through the steps in front of you that demonstrates how the formula for point of total assumption is derived. PTA can be used to forecast cost-related risk as well. If estimate at completion EAC is less than point of total assumption, this means that the risk of overruns is shared. However, if estimate at completion is greater than point of total assumption, means that all the overruns moving forward are owned by the seller. Now if you pause the video and look at the graph in front of you, this is evident from the graph as well. Plus this graph also depicts the relationship between profits, losses, point of total assumption and the cost. Now a key misconception to be clarified. PTA does not mean point of zero profit for the seller. At PTA, seller may be making profit or loss or no profit and no loss. At PTA, the buyer-seller ratio becomes 0:100. Technically, PTA is the point where the share ratio ceases to operate and the buyer will no longer share cost with the seller. At PTA, a fixed price incentive fee contract becomes a firm fixed price contract. PTA can be more than ceiling price. At or above PTA, buyer pays the ceiling price. At or above PTA, the contract price is fixed and is equal to the ceiling price. Even though the concept of point of total assumption is primarily used in case of fixed price plus incentive fee contract, however, the concept can also be applied to cost reimbursable contracts where incentives are involved.